chapter, Akshara Brahma Yoga, right?
We completed 22 slokas.
Yeah, 22 shlokas. Any doubts so far in those 8 chapters in these 22 shlokas? No doubts. Okay. Akshara Brahma Yoga. Just opening. Purusha Saparapartha Bhaktya Labhyastvananyaya Yasyanta Sthani Bhutani Yena Sarvami. So quickly we will look through this. We will complete this chapter. 8th chapter. Very simple chapter this is. We got the keywords to understand the shlokas. So whatever keywords meanings, we can remember, that becomes a keyword. So Lord is explaining here Akshara Brahma Yoga. Akshara, one which does not get destroyed. Akshara Brahma Yoga. Attaining that Akshara Brahma, the indestructible Brahma, from where there is no return. Arjuna asks in the beginning, what is Kim Tad Brahma? What is Brahma? What is Brahman? Kim Adhyatmam? What is Atma? Kim Karma Purushottama? What is Karma? 3 questions. Then Adibhutam cha Kim Proktam? What is Adibhuta? What is Adhidaiva? Kimuchyate? Adhiyajna? What is Adhiyajna? Katam ko atra? And where do they live? So the answer can be applied to where does Bhuta live, where does Daiva live, where does Yajna live. Also, it can be simply applied to what is Adhyajna and where does he live. Dehesmin Madhusudana, inside the body, where does these things occur? Prayana kale cha katam nyeyosi niyatatma. Niyatatma means one with disciplined atma, disciplined activities, senses. Where does he go when he leaves his body? Sri Bhagwan responds, Aksharam Brahma Param, Akshara Brahma is the Param Brahma. And his personality, his Swabhava is called Adhyatma, meaning Brahma, the transcendental, his personality is Kutastha Chaitanya or Tat, that is Sat, and his personality is Tat. That Tat exists within you and me microcosmically as the soul. Bhuta Bhava Udbhavakara Visarga Karma Sanyita. Visarga is that which divides. That which divides and creates this artificial reality is called karma, activity. And that is essentially the Om, or the Visarga, the conscious. So here comes Sat, Tat, and Om, the answer. Third shloka. Then Adibhutam Ksharo Bhava. Adibhutam is the physical universe which can get destroyed. Purushascha Adidevata. The Kutastha Chaitanya is actually the upholder of the Adidevata or the astral cosmoses. It's not visible, but it is the fundamental invisible propensity of Brahma, but manifested. Adiyagno ahame vatra dehe dehavritamvara. So he says Adiyagnya is I myself, meaning the causal universe, from where the blueprints of entire karmic divisions of the astral and causal and the physical universe start. That is the causal universe. That is Adiyagnya. That is where I myself oversee things. I myself oversee things. So this Adiyagnya is I myself, and I abide in the body. Essentially, it is equal to the soul. Now Lord says, Antakso, we got the physical, astral, causal worlds, and Sat, Tat, and Om. So we have read this in the scriptures. Guruji also explains that the physical, astral, and causal universes have everything manifested similarly, macrocosmically, that is called Samasti, entire creation, or Samashti, and Vyashti. Vyashti is individual creation. So individual is you and me, microcosmic, or a pig or a rat. Everything is individual or one plant. But what is macrocosmic? The entire universe is macrocosmic. So Lord abides as a kind of a power called Virata in the physical universe. It's called Virata. That's a kind of a power or a force. And Vishwa. So we have heard of this, right? Vishwa individually and Virata in the physical cosmos. The same thing in the astral cosmos, Lord abides as Tejas and Hiranyagarbha. That is the Adibhutas Bhavas. Adhiyajnas, Adibhuta, Adidaivas Bhava. The astral. And
What is
Adhiyajna.
Hiranyagarbha? Hiranyagarbha, what is it?
Yeah. I'll come back. Let's know the names first. Then in the Adi Yajna, you have Lord says Prajna and Ishvara himself. Macrocosmically, that force is called Ishvara. Microcosmically, in the sense a causal being, that force is called as Prajna. All these 6 words can only remain words for you and me. Say Hiranya means light here. Hiranya means gold, and Garbha is fundamental womb. So the womb of gold. So Guruji explains Om, the color of Om is actually golden in shade. And from that golden shade, we all come out. That is why man has a fundamental liking for the gold color. Anyway, these are things. But these 6 fundamental guardian deities or the guardian forces are together called as Adibhuta, Adidaiva, and Adiyagnya. These are the powers. Taptiji, to answer your question, good question. Suppose I ask you what is gravitation. You can't see gravitation, you can't touch gravitation, but you know it exists because you're stuck to the earth. Without gravitation, you'd be floating in space now. So you know it exists. So if you ask me what is electricity, I can't show you electricity. I can't make you, you can't touch electricity either because we'll die. We can't see it. We can't feel it. We can't smell it. But we know electricity exists. Same with, quantum forces. Quantum forces are what? Forces which exist between atoms. Even that we can't understand. But we know when an atom bomb breaks, it is very powerful. The force is released. So similarly, these forces, which are called Virata, Vishwa, Tejas, Hiranyagarbha, or Prajna, or Ishvara, cannot be really understood, seen, touched, or felt by humans. But we know it exists. Okay. So then Lord Khan talks about Antakala. At the end, what happens? Antakale chamameva smaran, thinking muktva kalevaram, if you leave your kalevara body, ya prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshaya. There's no doubt if you can keep your consciousness on me. Now what happens? The last 40 seconds of death, all the things that we've done predominantly come suddenly in a capsule form. That's what said. Puranas say that. Now, if we have practiced essential bhakti, constantly thinking of God, talking about God, chanting about God, then where the mind will go, naturally it will go there. Or if being a sadhaka, so then naturally it will go there. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajante iti kalevaram tam tama eveti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Sada tad bhava bhavita, that's the keyword. Because sada, always you have been thinking of this, so naturally you'll think of it at death. Lord is not doing anything. It's all scientifically put there. It's already scientifically put there. So you will get that freedom if you are constantly united with the freedom consciousness, which is Brahma. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmarayutya cha mai arpita manobuddhi mame aishyasi asamshayam. So if you give your mana and buddhi, focus on me, that is why in olden days, all free time was spent with God, so that we can do evolutionary activities. Not in becoming a scientist or, whatever, pursuing the forms of this world. That is why in the ancient higher yugas, which was the earlier Satyuga, or the earlier Treta or Dwapara, you see man had achieved higher perfections within himself. So they were mantric weapons. Everything was internal. He knew how to manipulate the Panchabhutas. He knew the Pancha Koshas of the body. So treatment was also within. The Pranamaya Kosha is treated. The Manomaya Kosha is treated. Today, the Western science is outward looking. So we are treating with external medicines. We are breaking apart things in the lab. So that is a longer process. And it's an unending process, because if you got 120 elements on the table, then you're going to get 2000 elements in future. It will be unending. You go to another planet, you'll get another 100 elements. So it is unending. So that is why in ancient times, the rishis said, go within lies all the answers. There lies all the answers. So there, when you go to God, Brahma within, then the answers will come naturally. Knowledge will flow intuitively. You don't know how it will come. like that. So you will know the secrets of flying through air. You will know the secrets of doing everything by going within. You don't have to go outside. So everything is hidden inside, in with Brahma itself. Recently, there was this forward which is making the rounds, what Einstein said. He said that whenever I read something very deeply and I listened to something, I didn't get any ideas. But when I went very deep inside into silence, all ideas started coming. That's how he wrote his famous theory. So everything is inside, but we should know how to go within. At least we should start making the effort. So that is why mana buddhi is given to Brahma. So when we give it to Brahma, naturally we will be trying to touch him, right? So these things will come. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. By practicing, keeping your mind and consciousness in a yogic state. Chetasa na anyagamina. Not letting the mind go here and there. Paramam purusham divyam yati. You will go to the Parama Purusha Divya. Partha anuchintayan. Always remembering him. Then Lord explains Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram. He's the wisest, he's the most ancient being who made the laws. Anoraniyam Samanusmaredya. So he is finer than the atom. Finer than the atom. You really can't think of him like smaller than the atom. People think that, I'll break up the atom and find God. That's not possible. So he is Samanusmaredya. You can't really conceive of what he is. Sarvasya Dhataram, supporter of everything, Achintya Rupam. You can't imagine what he is or chintan nahi kar sakte ho. Aditya Varnam, shining like the sun. Tamasak Parastat, beyond any tamasic nature. Prayana Kale, at the time of death. Manasa Achalena, without moving the mind. Bhaktya Yukto, filled with bhakti. Yoga Balena cha eva, using Yoga Bal. Bhruvor Madhya, in between the eyebrow center. Pranam Avesha Samyak. Complete prana. Bring it there. Satam Param Purusham Upaiti Divyam. Then you will be able to attain that Parama Purusha. How to die. So practice of the scriptures say the entire life has to be a practice of how to die. So every moment we try to understand, evolve. And if you have found your guru, the guru has given you the path, and that's it. This will happen. Then Lord says, Yada Aksharam Veda Vido Vadanti. So Akshara is Akshara Brahma, which is spoken of by the people who are Vedavids. Vedavids are the people who know the Veda. Vadanti, they speak of it. Vishanti Yadyattaya Vitaraga. Vishanti is to enter. Yadyattaya Vitaraga. Those people enter him who have given up the ragas of this world. Raga means Raga Dvesha, likes, dislikes, risen above everything. Yadichanto, wanting that freedom, brahmacharyam charanti. They start moving towards Brahma. That is brahmacharya. Charanti, move. Tatte padam sangrahena pravakshi. I will tell you how that happens very briefly. Lord says, Sarva dvarani samyamya. All the holes get closed, meaning the prana which is disturbing these holes are put back into the spine. Mano hridi nirudhyacha. Manas, which is a fanciful faculty, Guruji says, it doesn't stay. Have you noticed in your meditation so many thoughts come? So where does it come from? These are the reactions of manas and buddhi. And suddenly you realize that you're not meditating, but you are following the mind. That is why Bhagwan says in the second chapter, Haranti prasabham mana. The mind goes here and there, but who's watching? Who suddenly told you that, oh wait, my meditation is going bad. I am looking at this and that. Who's that person who reminds himself that he has to meditate? That is the ego. That is the aham. So that ego trickling out of the soul follows the manas. So that is what Lord says. The ego has to withdraw the manas. He has to be capable of pulling the mind back inside. Tell him, look, you're a little kid, go inside. Stop playing around. But then what happens? The ego itself moves. It enjoys what the manas does. That's what life is. Ego is the coordinator between the manas and the buddhi and the memories and the feelings, chitta. Guruji writes it very beautifully. He says, the ego is the coordinator between the manas, buddhi and the chitta. When the ego, that self-awareness that I am existing, I'm human. Ants do not have it. Cats have it very briefly, very mildly. Animals haven't developed the ego completely. They're not aware they're existing so much. They might be aware of instinctual fear and things like that, but they're not very intelligent. Why? Because the ego is not coordinating the thoughts that are coming from the senses, that is the manas, the buddhi, the stored up knowledge, which is the reasoning and processing those informations, and chitta, the feelings and reactions that arise. So the ego coordinates all this, it suddenly attains a level of intelligence which is higher than instinctual or nature given intelligence, which is in which is in animals. And that's why humans are different. And Guruji says when the ego stops behaving well, it identifies separately with the manasap. That's when a man becomes mad. We've heard of bipolar tendency, schizophrenia, or things like, madness in the head. What happens? The ego has lost its awareness. It becomes attached to manas and buddhi and chitta. It gets separated into three different beings within the same mind. That's why you'll see if a madman on the street, he will throw the stone, he'll talk to himself, then suddenly he'll do something, and suddenly he'll roll on the floor, suddenly he'll give a lecture. So the ego is not coordinating. You see how the mind works. We can discuss this later. Anyway, now coming back, Lord says, Sarva Dvarani Samyame, control everything. That is where Manovriti Niridyacha. Bring the manas back to the fanciful faculty, back into the heart, from the chitta where it arose. Murdhyadaya Atmana Pranam. So Murdanya is the air of head region, head space, that is between the skull region, where the third eye is. Prana, you bring it there. Astito Yoga Dharanam. How? Using yoga concentration only, you can bring it. Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. That Brahma who is called Om, that Akshara Brahma, Vyaharan Mam Anusmaran. Thinking of me, remembering me, and Vyaharan is chanting or superconsciously remembering or uniting with that Om. Ya prayati tyajan deham sayati paramam. Yati is move. He leaves the body, he comes there. Okay, I am taking it a little too deep, but I think it's a good revision. Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarati nityasha tasyam sulabha partha. For him it's sulabha, easy. Nitya yukta sya yoginaha. Because he is a yogi and he's always united to me. So for him it becomes easy when his mind is always kept there. Mamupetya punarjanma. You will not get punarjanma, forcible punarjanma. Dukkha alaya ashashvatam. This is actually filled with pain, this word. Lord himself is saying, this is like a set. The sets. Napnuvanti Mahatmana. You will not get it. These Mahatmas, samsiddhim paramam gata. Because they go into this paramagati. What is very fascinating is, the scriptures say that we become humans after 84 lakh yonis. We've been mosquito. How fast a mosquito dies? Tuck, you kill him, it's over. Hardly is lived even half a day. So immediately you become a cockroach. Then you become a cockroach. In one day you're slapped. You're dead. So it's not very, long to finish those 84 lakh yonis. The chicken is killed within 2 months or 3 months, 6 months. Only lucky chickens live for 8 years, which is its lifetime. So basically, all the yonis we can complete within maybe 100 years or 50 years of human life. And then, or maybe 100 years. And you become a human very fast. When the ego develops. So once you become a human, there is a further evolution. This is not the ultimate. For us, it is the ultimate on earth. The scriptures say we have 7 other lokas to attain. Right? So we have to become higher and higher. So through that evolution, ultimately we will reach this. Paramahansa Yogananda says that any person who lives very righteous dharmic life will attain this in 1 million years. It's just 10 lakh years. Very long time. So why 10 lakh? Because the soul wants to enjoy. Wants to enjoy. So then Lord says, Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartino, avartino Arjuna. Punah avartina. From Brahma loka to this loka, we'll keep coming back. Mamupeti tu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. If you come to me, you will not get punarjanma forcibly. Then you will come by yourself. You're fully free. You don't care. You're not so worried about Maya. You will come here. You will instantly attain your self-realization. or you may come as Purna Brahma, means self-realized yogi. Very rare, like Bhagavan Krishna. Very rare. Purna Brahma. Maybe in higher lokas, Purna Brahmas may, avatars may be very common. The Jains say there are crystal worlds, golden worlds, and there are diamond shining worlds. The people there don't even project the other pleasures because they are in that what we learned in the 6th chapter. Sukham athyantikam yatad buddhigrahyam atindriyam. They are in that level of sukha. They are not worried about hunger, thirst, food, sex, and things like that. So these high lokas, this is the evolutionary next stage for humans. So Brahma here is telling us, look, now doing PhD in, human life. What is PhD? Bhagavad Gita. You do this, you attain me, you have evolved. The Lord says, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Vidu. 1,000 yugas, Sahasra Yuga, is the Aha means day of Brahma. Vidu. Know that. We saw that one yoga is very easy to simply calculate this. This don't have to go into the Vedic calculation. It's wrong. Swami Teshwar Giriji has said that it came in Kali Yuga. It was a wrong calculation. Today, people are aware. The Brahmins in Banaras are discussing this. Very open debates are being held that what they told in the last 1,500 years is wrong yoga calculation. We don't have a 4,32,000 years long Kali Yuga. We have a 1,200 years of descending Kali Yuga, which is over. And then we have 1,200 years of ascending Kali Yuga, which is over. We've also completed the Sandhi Kala, which is 200 years, and we are now into ascending Dwapar Yuga. It's a cycle. The whole Yuga is 24,000 years. So one day is 24,000, one night is 24,000. So that is the amount of one day is 24,000 into 1,000. One night of Brahma is one Ratri Yuga Sahasranta. Te Ahoratra Vidojana. So people who know this Aha and Ratra, they speak like that. Then Lord says, Avyaktad Vyaktaya Sarva Prabhavantya Aharagame. Ahara Agama. Keyword. When I say the word, please mark it if you're serious. Then you'll remember this. Ahara Agama. Agama is coming. Aha is day. Day has come. Avyakta has become Vyakta. Manifestation happens. Ratri Agame. Night comes. Praliyante. Pralaya comes. Tatre avyakta sanyaki. They again become avyakta. Avyakta, vyakta is to manifest, come out. Avyakta is to go in. It's very easy. If you remember, even any Indian language, Hindi, Malayalam, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, anything you Rajasthani, Brij Bhasha, whatever you speak, vyakta is vyakta only. Avyakta, agama is agama. So these words are very common in every language. So it will be easy for you. Bhutagramam sa evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate. Like this. Ratragame praliyante. Avashah partha prabhavatya aharagame. Avasha is helplessly. They come in, they go into pralaya, they come out, they go into pralaya. So it's a very terrible sequence of events. Don't want to do this. Then Lord says, Parastasmatu bhavo anyo avyakto avyakta sanatana. Yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyastu na vinashyati. So there is some state of mind, that's Sat Parabrahma. He's beyond even the Kutastha. Kutastha is already Avyakta. That is unmanifest. Beyond that Avyakta is Sat Brahma. So if you can come to me, which is filled with absolute bliss and happiness, then there is no botheration of this, helplessly becoming a human, struggling through diseases, mental, physical. And the worst is Jara Marana. Jara is old age and Marana is death. It's very fearful and painful. Even a realized soul goes through this because the natural instinct of the nature itself gets in this fear. As we get older, we want to protect our body. We're very scared to do something new. We won't feed ourselves something new. We're very scared. That fear is called abhinivesha. Why does it come? It's a natural instinct. It happens even to Vidishopi Saha. Patanjali says. Vidusha is a person who's a wise man. He knows there's nothing to fear of death. There's 1 minute when your body it stays here, you will go out, you'll be free and flying like a 20-year-old. Maybe you're so thrilled, you'll go round and round, merry-go-round. around your body and say, God, I can't believe this. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I can see, I can touch, I can feel, I can think, I can see all my kids and everyone. I'm so happy. I want to tell them I'm happy, but you're in a different dimension. You can't speak to them. Now, that's the fun part. Hmm? And so Lord says, it's like when you go to a movie hall, something's running on the screen, right? And you are sitting here. The screen people are, some play is going on. You're the observer. Both is happening simultaneously, but you can't communicate with the people in the screen. So it'll become like that. The earth becomes like a screen for you. So you can't communicate. You can't go. Actually, you can, but the frequency is very high. You are at 5,000 hertz. Humanity is valuing at 20 hertz. You can't come down. If humanity makes a radio equipment which is 5,000 hertz and tunes it, then your voice will be heard to humanity. Simple. It's all science. God is the greatest scientist, Guruji says. The Lord then says, Avyakto akshara iti uktaha. Tamahu paramam gatim. So he's called Ahu paramam gatim. This is the absolute home of yours. What are you thinking this is your home? Lord Krishna is telling us, is very keen. Gurudev says, Brahma is a being like you and me. Klesha karma vipaka ashayir aparamrishta purusha vishesha ishvara. He is a being. He feels. He knows everything. He loves. He feels love also, but he is not attached. He's aparamrishta. He knows what is avidya. He knows how it feels. Avidya also. Sometimes he comes in. He enjoys like Krishna and all in this avidya. He knows everything. He knows the kleshas. He knows the pains. He knows the troubles. But he lives beyond it. It's like the director created the movie, but he's just going to observe the movie, whether it's going to be success or failure. Your life is a beautiful script, but he's not going to be involved in it. But if you ask the director, can you change this part? I don't want to heroines say that, no? I don't want to do the kissing scene. Fine, we'll remove it. So like that. You can tell the director, look, this scene is very painful. It gives severe body ache. My head aches. Migraine is not a very good scene. So you tell the director say, okay. So he'll improvise the scene to say, okay, you'll be taken to a homeopathic doctor where you will get a medicine for migraine and within 2 months it will go off. So that way the scene is improvised. So that is how this world works. So that's so beautiful. Avyakto akshara ityukta yam prapya na nivartante. When you come here, you'll not go back. Na nivarti ante tad dhama paramam. That's home. Beta, that's home. Come home. So essentially, Paramahansa Yogananda says it's very fascinating. Brahma keeps taking these avatars, going to various planets and telling, come back, come back. There's this very famous Western psychic. His name is Edgar Cayce. Incidentally, he had some connections with the disciples of Paramahansa Yogananda. I don't have any proof that he did. He was contemporary to Paramahansa Yogananda. He essentially goes into the psychic states and mentions this. He says the same thing. He says, when initial Earth was created, it was about 400-500 billion years back, there were these beings roaming about, light. They were made of light. They could feel and touch everything. The sparks coming out of the Father, he calls them. These sparks were roaming freely across all the 3 universes. It was beautiful. They were only animals on Earth. There was no physical beings in the cosmos. Physical cosmos was ready, but there were no beings in any of the planets. And then all these beings went and told Brahma, let's go and enjoy. We want to enter and see. Brahma says, wait, it's very, very dangerous out there. I've created it for your fun, but it's not very easy to manage. But they've pushed. It's like we said, Dad, I want the ice cream. Then you get stomachache, right? So then they came, they're called the fallen angels, you and me. So Casey gives the present civilization, that's you and me, Homo sapiens. He gives a very vague date. He says 2 lakh years back, the first beings entered in this present civilization. So this is a constant activity. The earlier civilization, then finally when everyone cries, the Brahma comes and dissolves the earth, dissolves the planet apparently, and he takes everyone. Now, these books like scriptures are when he comes in between and tells, come home. So late. रात हो गया, घर चलो. मम्मी आके बुलाती है ना, कीचड़ में तुम फंस गए हो, पूरा कपड़े गंदे हैं, 2 चाटा लगा के ले जाती है घर पे. गांव में ऐसे होता है ना, Mother will pull you by the ears and take you home. What are you doing? Still playing? You have such a beautiful home. You have to wash up. Come clean. So we came. See, the time does not exist. So for the soul, it can live eternally. It lives eternally, essentially. It can live 1 million years, 2 million years. It can live enjoying. So it's that avyakta akshara, paramdama. That's home. Come, let's go back. Purushasa parah partha bhaktya labhyastvananya. Through bhakti, attaching yourself to Brahma. And why does Brahma say do bhakti, bhakti? It's not like a megalomania. Remember, some people used to discuss this with me. They philosophically, they say, what is this Brahma? You say ego, ego, but he himself has ego. He wants us only to love him. Nothing else we can do. Somebody told me this many years back. At that time, I didn't have an answer, 20 years back. So we were living in Gujarat at that time. But today I understand, which I want to tell you also, that bhakti is not Lord asking us, love only me. It is a scientific nature of this universe that you attract what you think, you manifest what you are. If you are a good soul, you will manifest a good soul into your life. If you are an evil soul, you will be in the company of evil people. So you manifest what is inside you. So you are thinking of Brahma, you will manifest Brahma. That is bhakti. Resonance. You tune the radio, the song will come. 99.5 FM. You tune it to some lower frequency, lower beings will talk. Higher frequency, highest frequency, Brahma himself will resonate with you. That's bhakti. Yasyantastani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. This is the final goal of all the beings, actually, Arjuna. Poor father. He has to come every time as an avatar. Nobody's listening. How many want to learn the Gita or the Quran or the Bible or anything? And whatever they get, they distorted humans, right? And they'll fight amongst themselves. How sad the father may be. Okay. So let's go further. Then Lord says, Yatra kale tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginaha prayata yanti tam kalam vakshami bharatarshava. Yatra kale. So I'll read all the four and then we will do the meaning. It is all related. It says Agnichotiraha Shuklaha Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vido Janaha Dhumo Ratristatha Krishnaha Shanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandramasam Jyoti Yogi Prapya Nivartate Shukla Krishne Gati Hete Jagata Shashwate Mate Ekaya Vrittim Anyaya Avartate Punaha. Very simple. Lord says how you'll come home. Let me tell you the path to come home. See, one thing is God can easily remove us. You ask him, Lord, I'm very tired with this world. Please take me away from you. He can just pick you up and take you to Paramdama. But you know what you're going to do? Your chitta, your fanciful faculty, is not going to get dissolved. When it is not dissolved, it's still awake. That's what the 15th chapter says. It is stuck like a boil on the soul. And after some time, this boil will start tugging at the soul and saying, look, I really, really wanted to taste one more chocolate and I didn't get the time. I want to taste it with the tongue, physical tongue. It will push the soul so much that finally the soul will go back. So that is why Brahma says, come home permanently. Cleanse everything. Vita raga. Remove that, become without raga. So Lord says, Yatra, where kale tu anavrittim. What is the time or what is the method to definitely anavrittim? Vrittim, avrittim, anavrittim. These are the two keywords here. Anavrittim, not coming back. Avrittim is to come back. So anavrittim, avrittim cha eva yoginaha. How a yogi will not come back and will come back. Prayata yanti tam kalam. Prayata is prayan karna, movement. Yanti. Yanti is again traveling. Tam kalam, at the time of travel. It is very important, time of travel. Yanti tam kalam. Vakshami Bharatarishava. I will tell you. Vaksha, I'll tell you. Bharatarishava, what's going to happen. So what is going to happen? If you see Agni, fire, Jyoti, light, Aha, Aharatra, Ahoratra we learnt. Ahoratra, Aha is day. If you see fire, light or daytime, and Shukla is white. Krishna means dark. So it's it's the waning moon, the moon which is growing. Like that, you see a light. Shukla moon, you see. Shan Masa. Shukla Gati, Krishna Gati. Every month has, 28 days, right? Out of the 14 days, the moon waxes. 14 days, it grows. So the growth time, okay. Waxes and wanes. Waxing time, the growing time. Waning is coming down. So Lord says, where you see fire, light, daytime, Shukla time. The moon is in Shukla Gati. Shanmasa, 6 months, Uttarayana. The sun is moving towards the north, which is typically, Uttarayana gets over somewhere around June, I guess. June 15th. Dates change. Sometimes July 15th. July 15th is Uttarayana end. Sun moves. After that, it moves south, right? It becomes very strong, hot. Dakshinayana. Tatra prayata gachanti. When you travel like that, gachanti, Brahma vido janaha. So you go into the place where people know Brahman. Then Dhuma, that is smoke, Ratri, night, Tata, and Krishna, dark side of the moon. That is the waning moon. Shatmasa, Dakshinayanam, the southern course of the sun. We know that 6 months is Dakshinayan, 6 months is Uttarayan. Everyone knows this. So Lord says, Tatra Chandram Masam Jyoti. You will also get, not sunlight, but a very moonlight kind of thing. Yogi Prapya Nivartate. Nivartate is come back. If the yogi gets that.
From when the Uttaran starts?
Google and find out. Every year it changes.
Okay.
Somewhere around 20th December to June, July, like that is Uttarayanam. And Dakshinayanam is after June. July to December 20th is around Dakshinayana. So that is around the dates. So it changes year to year. Chandramasam yogi prapya nivartate. Shukla Krishna gati hi ete. Shukla, that's, white, fair, bright, and Krishna, dark gati. Yeah? Hi ete jagata shashvate mate. Now these are fixed, and this is truth. Ekaya yati anavrittim. In one, if you go, anavrittim, you'll not come back. Anyaya, other one, avartate punaha, you'll come back. So in Krishna Gati, you go to lower worlds, you go to earth back. Shukla Gati, you go to higher worlds and higher Brahmas. Now please don't take it like Tapti ji just asked a question, what is Uttarayanam? Like now she's going to calculate all her ancestors, her, all her parents. When did they go? That's not how it is. Shukla Krishna Gati. So that is why scriptures have to be studied with intuition. Guru Paramahansa Yogananda says this. He says Shukla Gati is a movement of the prana upwards in the spine towards the Kutastha Chaitanya. The Kutastha Chaitanya is a brilliant sun. When that sun opens, there is tremendous amount of light into which the prana goes into, the prana of the being, the soul moves into. And Krishna Gati is when the prana moves down the spine constantly. There is light, but there is light of only the prana. Chandramasam Jyoti, like a moonlight. Both go into light only. One goes into sunlight, one goes into moonlight. And it is the movement of the soul through this brahmacharya into the kutastha is called freedom. That is called anavrittim. It is not directly 6 months of the year. This is how everyone will explain, and everyone thinks like that. For example, There is a very famous saying that if you go and die in Kashi, you will get mukti. So this during the last Kali Yuga, people believed so much that anybody, especially widows, they would just go and dump them, and the widows themselves would go from all villages, Bihar, UP, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, especially the northern Indian states. All the old people, old men, and the old man and woman after the age of 75 or 80, they would go on pilgrimage and stay in Kashi. It's a very famous thing. If you go to Kashi now, you will see hundreds wanting to die there. But that's not true. Not every beings. There's a story in Swami Rama's book as well about this. All the yogis know this secret. All masters know this. Simply dying in Kashi will not give you moksha. You suppose you've been a robber all your life, and you want to go and die in Kashi. You're not going to go heaven. It is an internal a metaphor. Kashi is the Kutastha, where there's a Triveni Sangam, where is, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati are joining in the Kashi. It's a Triveni Sangam. And it is happening in the Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, Nadi are joining in the Kutastha. So that is where the prana has to go. And when you leave body in that Kashi, this same Brahma Madhye, Pranam Avesha Samyak, Satam Param Purusham Upaiti Divyam. We learned this chapter. That Brahma Madhye is Kashi. Kashi is also means the word means bright with knowledge. Sanskrit word. Kashi has so many meanings. So that which is bright, full of knowledge. What is full of wisdom and knowledge? The Kutastha, wisdom of Brahma. So this is Uttarayanam, moving towards the north. Indian scriptures classify the body into four parts very clearly. So if you take that into account, what Bhagwan Krishna says makes so much sense. It is not at all related to the time of the year. The northern part is the top part. Murdhya Dhyana Atman, he said. No, towards the head portion is the north. Towards under the feet, towards the south is the south. And then towards the front of the body is called the east, and the back is called the west. So sorry, the front is called the east. Yeah, correct. The back is called the west. So these are the four portions of the body: north, south, east, west. So Bhagavan is saying go north, Uttarayanam. Go north is go to Brahma in the Kutastha. Dakshinayanam is the prana goes down. Okay. Then Lord says that is done now. Now that's clear. So we'll close this. 2 more shlokas are there. We can close this. We'll do Raja Vidya tomorrow, and we can discuss this after this. Then Lord says, Naite sriti partha janan yogi muhyati kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yuktho bhavarjuna. Na ete sriti. Sriti is, there's a word in Kannada, sarini, path. It shows that word, a movement. Okay, the path. Na ete sriti partha janan. Janan, janna. If you know these two paths, jan, yogi, a yogi. Muhyati, moodha, muhya. The word comes, no, muhyati. Get into delusion. Kaschana, anybody. Kadachit, kabibhi. Like that. The words are similar. Tasmat, therefore, sarveshu kaleshu, all the time. Yoga yukta bhava. Become yoga yukta. United with that higher consciousness, Arjuna. If you know the meanings of these paths, this is what he says. Then you will not get deluded and fall back. Meaning of this path. The difference between these paths. He is not saying direct meanings. That's why even in the Bible, Lord Christ keeps saying, for those who have eyes, you can see. For those who have ears, let them hear. So it's not everyone's wondering in the group, everyone has ears, they're hearing. Everyone has eyes, they're hearing. No. You need to understand the scriptures from wisdom. There are layers of meanings. So that is what Lord is saying. Did you understand the meaning now, Arjuna? Like that. That if you understand this real meaning, then you will not get deluded. Then Lord says, Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtham atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chatyam. Now Lord says, look at this very fascinating. It says, Vedeshu, better than studying the Vedas, blindly studying the Vedas without knowing the meaning. So many do that. They by heart. Vedas and yajnas and everything's by hearted. What's the point if you don't know? When you say the swaha and you're putting mustard seeds, you don't know what the meaning of mustard seeds is. You don't know what's the meaning of the ghee that you're putting. Yes, there'll be some benefit, but not real and meaning will be understood. What is it? Why am I using that grass? Why am I using this? But that is the greatness of Sanatana. They also made it medicinal. So they knew that people will become stupid and they'll simply follow without asking. The Brahmin says, do this, we'll keep doing. So the ancient Vedic seers of the higher ages, they made that yajna that home fire also will make purify the area scientifically. And that black suit which comes also is healing. It seems the yajna suit which we give as in Ganapati home, or that you get that Devi homam and all, you get a black suit, they put it on the kutastha, right? So if you apply it on a dying plant or stomach upset, if you just put it around your stomach, you'll heal. That's what they say. And this is not what I'm saying. This university in Australia, we did this research, and they came out with this. They wanted to know there has to be something behind this. Why do they do such elaborate rituals? There has to be some meaning. It came. So these Sanatana Dharma rishis were very brilliant. They knew this is going to happen. They'll forget about the real meaning. They will do only ritually X. So even that they made it interesting. So Lord here says Vedeshu, Yagneshu, when you do the sacrifices. Tapassu. Tapas is going into Himalayas, taking off your clothes and meditating for 48 hours in that cold weather or extreme heat, sitting on nails, standing on one leg, one hand up, growing your hair like this. That is called tapas. Extreme pain you get. Tapa, tadapna. Cha eva. You do all this, right? Daneshu. Some people just give charities. At the end of their life, people, especially politics and all this, has accumulated a lot of wealth, crores. They don't know what to do with it. So they will start giving at the end. अभी क्या जरूरत है सब रख के, let me give दान. उसमें थोड़ा सा some of the karmas do get destroyed. Because you get the grace of the people who receive it, they will bless you, right? So the grace, invisible magnetism, wipes out karma. Daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam. From doing this Veda, Yajna, Tapas, Dana, whatever punya phala you are accumulating to wipe out your karmas in your spine, pradishtam, atiyeti, tat sarvam edam viditva. Better than all that is a yogi who knows this path, how to do this path. Let's travel up the royal path, travel up the spine using your prana. This is that path. Viditva no. Yogi param sthanam upaiti cha adyam. He goes very fast, yogi, because he said, no, do an upaya. For example, you want to wash clothes every day. There is a washing machine, use it. Instead of sitting for 45 minutes and hitting the clothes, putting soap and struggling and then getting tired, okay, and saying, oh, this is how my parents did it, this is my grandparents. No, you have washing machine switched on and come. 15-20 minutes, everything is done. If you have a dryer, again, it becomes much more. So that's a upaya. So good. Lord has said, don't, he never said don't do. He likes people with buddhi. He says, I like people if you make your life simpler. So like that, he says, become a yogi, learn this path. And in the next chapter, he teaches us what is this path. He says this is called Raja Vidya. That moving through the spine into the highest is called the Raja Vidya. It's the greatest Vidya that you should know. Learn it, Arjuna, learn it. Raja Guhya. It's also quite secretive because yogis who know it simply don't spill the beans. You do it. Because people will misuse it. What will happen? Siddhis will come. When Siddhis come, they will, like Ravana and all. They got Siddhis, but the Chitta was not cleansed, full of lust and काम क्रोध लोभ नहीं किया है, सिद्धि आ जाता है उसमें. So then they'll use it for wrong purposes. This is why it has to be done with the guidance of a master. So that's why it becomes a guhya. So then you see how the 9th chapter takes on from the 8th chapter. Now he says, now this you become a yogi and do this path going up. And he says in the 9th chapter, this is a guhyatamam pravakshami. I will tell you the secret. So it is this jnana, this will give you jnana, vijnana, everything. You'll get moksha also. This is Rajavidya, this is Rajaguhya. It's very pavitra. It's pratyaksha, agamam. It is susukham, easy to do, very simple. It takes 30 seconds. So then, so he explains this path, how to go there, how to get your prana into the Murdanya Adaya. So how do you get that? So this is how the Gita continues, you see. So this continuation you should know. Okay. So with that, we'll close the 8th chapter. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidhyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Akshara Brahma Yogo Nama Ashtamodhyaya. So with that, we close this beautiful chapter. Any doubts on the Shanmasa, Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, Agni, Jyoti, Aha, Brahma's daytime, Brahma's night time? I'm just giving you the points in these chapters. Anything? Any doubts? Prayana Kala, what to do in Prayana Kala? How you do that? Getting bhakti and then yoga bala. And then again, even Ananya Bhakti is enough to come to Paramagati. Antakala, how you have to live. Sarveshu Kaleshu, what you should do. What you should do with Mana and Buddhi. Mayarpita Mano Buddhi. Who told you all this? Veda Vido Vadanti. People who know the scriptures, the masters have told us. What are the dwaras, Navadwaras? All these are Bhagwan's great explanation to go into Akshara Brahma Yoga. Any doubts on anything? Please don't hesitate. That also says that if you ask one question in front of a group, then you may be a fool for once. But if you never ask the question, you'll be a fool always. So don't worry what others say, but have the courage, ask question. You can type it also. And between we have a group where we do reading and learning and all. Anybody, Sapnadi, yeah, very nice. I'll come to you. If you anybody want to join that group, it's called Shravana Manana Nididhyasana group. You can with somebody, Sapnaji, you can put the link on the chat box here. You can click the link and join the group. Yes, Sapnaji, ask the question.
Didi, could you explain the 26th sloka of this chapter?
Yeah.
The two paths of the world.
Okay. 26th shloka.